G'day all, my name's Noel. I live on the east coast of Australia in the Northern River area. We've got a lot of beautiful rivers around this area, such as the Bobo, the Little Loboida, the Clarence. Then we've got the Kangaroo Creek and Tallawodja Creek. All these waterways over the years have produced gold in certain places. And since the early 1900s, 1800s, into the early 1900s, there was a lot of gold mining being done in this area. Mainly alluvial gold. There was a few bigger pieces found, but not a great deal. And it's a complete pleasure to be able to get out to these areas and do a bit of fossicking and crevassing and metal detecting, which I do. I find it very relaxing. Mentally, I think it helps me a lot. I'm a Vietnam vet, and to get out away from everything, and you can, I don't know, seem to be able to get all your thoughts together, and it helps me out tremendously. Okay, I'm going to show you some of the tools that I have. I've been asked by a number of people where I get my tools from, and I've told them I make most of them, and I'm going to show you. But all my tools are in this backpack that I carry. It's comfortable, they all fit. Just because I've got all this in my backpack, it doesn't mean to say I'm going to use it all. When I go out, at least it's in my car. If I need it, I've got it. So I don't have to worry about not forgetting something. With this, I take, of course, my shovel, and I've got a crock I often take. It's light, it's easy to use, I find it very good. What I'm going to do now is take my backpack off and go through all the tools and show you the ones I've made and how I've made them, and might be able to give you some ideas, seeing that we've got this coronavirus now, we're all stay at home, might give you something, a little project to do. Well, I'll take it off and we'll see what I've got in here. Okay, I just changed my camera around a little bit to see if to make it a little bit easier. These are the scrapers I've made that I worked out that is best for me. These are the three main ones I use. I do have a smaller one here, a thinner one. How I made these was out of a saw blade. You probably can see it, part of it out there against my vehicle. It's around about 3mm, an eighth thick, might be a little bit heavier. And what I did, I just put the saw blade down and did a drawing, and I kept drawing until I was happy with it. I kept the main stem here 25mm because I had a piece of tube, 20mm tube that'll fit over it quite easy to make a handle. So once I got it drawn out, I used a 4-inch hand grinder and to roughly cut it out, and then change from a cutting blade to a sanding blade, and then finish them off. And then I painted them red, as you can see, so we don't lose them. But the handles, once I got the hose, I cut the hose to length, I filled it up with silicone, and then I pushed it on. And the next day it's all dry and makes a very good sturdy handle. You won't get blisters from that. So I did the three main ones, these three here, and then this one here I used just a plain saw, just a wood saw. The material's very strong, and using a hand grinder when you're cutting it out, you're not putting too much heat into it, so you're not going to do any damage to the strength of it and the temper. So, and it's flexible. Yes, you can get right in and do a lot of digging. These big ones here you can use for a bit of a leverage bar as well. they're strong enough to handle that. I was in Bunnings one day and I come across this Phillips screwdriver, and I made a little shovel to go on the end of it, to get right down in the crevice as far as I can, and get that last little bit out. On eBay I brought some chisels. They're round chisels. I think there's about 4 or 5 in the pack, and that's the one I sort of settled on. It wasn't the longest one, it wasn't the shortest one, but it's ideal to get down and tap it and loosen the stones and rocks and what have you, and you've got a little bit of a leverage bar on top. It works very well. To clean all the rubbish away and the sand and save your fingers and hands, I brought this little garden fork. It's ideal for that. To pull it away, it saves your fingers, saves your hands, and then also got a magnet. This particular magnet is of course out of a microwave, and if there's a lot of nails and other bodies around, put it on there, it picks it all up and you can get rid of it quite easy. I have of course brushes, a paintbrush. Get down and really clean the rocks out on all those little specks that might be caught on the rocks with that one, and getting down right down deep into the crevice. I just made this up quickly. It's a bit of conduit, PVC pipe. I got the bristles from a broom, put some silicone on it, put it in the, or put a bit of heat on it, put it in the vise, squashed it, and made that little broom up, no cost. When you go out, of course, you come across roots and other branches that you've got to get out of the way. So I carry the saw with me. It's folds up, it's out of the way, and it does the job. Little shovel, plastic, ideal for the detector, because it's all plastic. Very strong, and for a couple of dollars. I think I got 2 of them for $5 in Bunnings. Of course, you got the rock hammer, which is probably the heaviest part of my kit, but it's something we've got to have. Then I've got this pump. I brought this, but you can make it. It's only PVC pipe. It works very similar to a snuffer bottle, where you've got this tube that runs right through and comes up for about 1 metre, 4 inches, 100 mil, and when you suck the material up into it, it drops down around it and doesn't get pushed out again. So you get 2 or 3 pumps before you got to actually break it and put it in your tray. That's not a bad little pump, that. Made this up out of PVC pipe. It's a magnet. You're always getting in your soil a lot of magnetic stuff that you want to get rid of, and this is an easy way of doing it. Just a bit of 25 mil PVC pipe, 2 caps, one with a hole in it, and magnets. I got them online. I think you get about 6 or 7 for about $5. They've got a hole in them. Just put this bolt through, and I didn't glue that. I leave that open. But you just rub it around, pick up the magnetic materials, take it out, give it a pull, and it all drops out. It saves mucking around with a magnet and trying to peel rubbish off it. It's very hard. And of course, you've got the little bottle to collect your gold in, your snuffer bottle. I've got that's the one I take. In fact, it's even got a little bit of that I got last time still in it. And then, of course, I brought that one. This one I made up just out of a sauce bottle, a thick tube on it. Does the same thing. So there's things you can do so cheap. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money. Garden shears, just cutting those branches and roots and what have you all. We got the pans, of course, and the classifier. I've just used the Jarrett ones. I find them pretty good. Then I've got a pump. Now on the Yabby pump, I've seen so many people, and I did it myself, you go out and you put it in the river stream, you suck it up, put it over in the bucket, let it go. But by the time you've done that, you've lost half of it. It's all dropped out. And so a very good friend of mine, he come up with this idea. It's very good. Just a bike tube, just a bicycle tube, cut it about 100 mil long and put it over. And that acts as a valve, as you can see. When you suck in, it goes in with all the material, and the weight of it then closes it off for a certain period of time. And then once you pump it out, it blows it out and comes back this other way. It's a very simple idea, but it works. It works very well. Then you get a piece of 2-inch PVC pipe. You do have to heat it and just make it that much bigger in diameter to fit on. And there you go. You've got it all set up. You've got it all set up. On top of that, what you can do is get another piece of 2-inch PVC pipe and you heat it up to a certain extent, not too much, and then you put in a vise and flatten it. So it's a complete V suction, and you put that on. Once that fits on, it fits on snug, it can go right down into the crevice and really get stuck right down into that bottom part of the crevice and pull it all up, where when you've got a 2-inch tube going down, it doesn't go down far enough. But that will go down much further, and it's very successful. And of course, a couple of other things that go in the pack is knee pads. You always need a knee pad, an engineer's scriber. It's high tensile steel, and it's very good to getting in those real small crevices. And of course, a pair of gloves. Always carry a pair of gloves. As I said before, I have a shovel, a round nose shovel I carry, and the crock. Well, that's about all I take out, and a bucket. You always take a bucket out, of course. Okay, that's about all I take out when I go to the do my fossicking. As I said, I take that backpack full, but when I get out there, I might take a few things out to make it lighter, put water in, put food in, and what have you. But it's comfortable, and I can, even fully loaded, it's quite comfortable to walk a fair distance with it. On top of those things, I've made a few other things too. The classifiers are very fine ones. If you're bringing the tailings home and you're after that real fine gold, you want the mesh 100, 120, 80, whatever, to make little screens out. What I've been using is PVC pipe. Now I've got the mesh, all different size mesh from eBay, not very much. They come in about 250 mil square pieces, I think, something like that. What I've been doing is getting PVC pipe. This one's about 150 mil, and I cut it 100 mil long and a 20 mil piece long. Then once I've done that, and to get them a nice square cut, if you use a piece of newspaper, wrap a piece of newspaper around it and level the edges up, and then just mark around it, you'll get a nice square cut. Because you've got to have a square cut for this to work. Once you've got that done, clean it up, you put it down on a bench. Put it down on a bench, and then I use the glue. You could use the PVC glue, I think, but I didn't. I use this adhesive to glue it together. But you need just the slightest a little piece around on both of them, not very much at all. And because if you put too much on, you'll probably see this, it comes out and it gets in the mesh, and of course it cuts a little bit of the mesh off. So you've got to be very careful that you don't put too much on. So after cutting the mesh out to usual, easy to handle section. I then put the glue on, put the mesh on, put the small ring on, you get it lined up, and then put a board on it with a bit of weight and leave it set overnight. When you've got it all set, next day, come out, use a grinder, you run around, take all the sharp edges off, but it's still a lot of little pieces there that can bite into you. So what you do is just get a bit of tape like this one and run a bit of tape around it. You can make all different sizes, so different grades, as I don't know if you can see the different grades there, but they're easy to handle, easy to use. Yeah, they work very, very effectively. You've got that bit of gap there. If you happen to drop them on something, it's not going to damage the mesh. Just a simple way of doing it. The PVC pipe, you probably know a plumber. Plumbers have got scrap pipe laying around everywhere, and easy to come by. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you've learned something, or giving you some idea of how to go about getting some equipment together for yourself. And I've enjoyed it. You know, it's an enjoyable thing when you can make something for yourself and you don't have to rely on spending money all the time. Okay, that's it for me. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.